Greetings. This is a beta test of what I'm considering to be a new channel I'm going to call You Should Have Read the Book. This channel will basically talk about the missing and deleted scenes that you would find in novelizations of books that were made into movies or movies that were made into books, vice versa. Date is June 1st, 2019. This video will feature one of my favorite movies. It's called Gremlins. It came out in 1984. The book was written by George Gipe, based on a screenplay by Christopher Columbus. Now, a lot of you may have seen this movie already. As I said, it's one of my favorites. It's considered by some a Christmas classic. But there's a lot of stuff in this book that was not covered in the movie. Firstly, starting with the origins of the Mogwai. The Mogwai were created by an alien race called Mogordamen, and they did this centuries ago. They made a whole bunch of these to distribute throughout planets in the galaxy to promote peace and creativity. Unfortunately, these were a genetic experiment, and really only about 1 in every 100 came out good and sweet-natured like our little gizmo there. So the funny thing is, if you look it up, the Chinese word for Mogwai translates as demon, and that might be why. Anyway, some other things that they cover in the book that they don't cover in the movie is that the Mogwai have their own language. They have their own language, and as a matter of fact, in the book they do quite a bit of talking, Gizmo and Stripe and all the other gremlins, because this is something else, once again, not covered in the book. The Mogwai don't know how to turn themselves into gremlins. Gizmo knows because he's been around for thousands of years. He's seen it happen. He's seen them destroy whole planets. It's a secret that he just as well keep to himself, which drives the other little Mogwais crazy because they want to become gremlins. Now, if they don't know how to do it, you might be wondering how they did it in the book. Trial and error, and sometimes accidents. So, when they're little Mogwais and they're bouncing around the house and stuff like that, they start off generally just kind of mischievous. There's a scene in this book here where they pretty much duct tape Billy to his bed. Moving along in the book, we find a character called Miss Deagle. She's also in the movie. And she's pretty much a rich old hag, and nobody likes her, and she doesn't like anybody, and that's the way she's happy. You find out in the movie and in the book that she's foreclosing on a lot of houses and properties around the town of Kingston Falls where this takes place. The reason why she's doing that is because her husband was pretty much a real estate millionaire, and he's long since passed, but she's a wicked old woman, and she loves money, so she's selling off parts of the town bit by bit and piece by piece to a company called High Tox Chemical Company, which I can only presume is some sort of, very toxic chemical company that probably ruin the town and make it into a big cesspool. Now, in the movie, yeah, the gremlins are dangerous and stuff like that, but when Christopher Columbus came up with the original idea for the movie, it was actually going to be more like a horror movie, but once you get guys like Steven Spielberg involved, that goes right out the window. The gremlins were actually supposed to be pretty much little lethal killing machines. So, in the book, another difference with the movie is that while it's kind of ambiguous in the movie, the Futtermans are definitely killed by the gremlins. They are out and out killed. The bank manager character in the movie is also in the book, of course. He's also killed by the gremlins, so it seems more like he had a heart attack. Now, along with that scene, there's a scene, you can find it on YouTube. You can find it on deleted scenes on the DVD disc, I believe. that basically shows Judge Reinhold's character, Gerald. He had locked himself in the bank vault during the chaos of the gremlins taking over the town. He basically snaps. He really loses touch with reality, and Billy and Kate basically leave him in there. For the most part, the rest of the movie, it's all in there. It's all in there. This just has a little bit more stuff that, the average person doesn't know about. Also, you might be wondering, where do I get these books? Well, for the most part, I get them at resale shops like Salvation Army or Goodwill or something like that. These, of course, are also available on eBay or Amazon. You can get them there. Sometimes they're expensive, sometimes they're cheap. But anyways, this is my first shot at this. I'm going to try to upload this up to YouTube. If you find it, please, if you're going to leave a comment, be gentle. I'm probably going to delete it anyways. This is just a beta test to see how things go and how my voice sounds and if I'm, making a complete idiot out of myself. So, like I said, if this is a beta test, if you see it, good. If you don't, I'll probably be coming out with a revised version of this with something a little bit more high-tech. Anyways, that was your first test installment of You Should Have Read the Book. Hopefully I'll be making a lot more of these in the future, so stay tuned.